Hey guys, this is Savannah from earthandwater.co. I had several topics that I wanted to cover before I got to this one, but this one's kicking my butt, so I figured I would go ahead and jump into it. And that is Mercury Retrograde, which we are about halfway into at the point of me recording this episode. But lucky you, it'll release on the 17th and Mercury Retrograde ends on the 18th, so just the day before. That puts it at not really mattering a whole lot right now, initially, but Mercury retrograde comes around 4 times a year, so it's one of the more common aspects that you want to know and learn about. And my mic wasn't hooked up till just now, and that's grade A Mercury retrograde crap right there. Mercury rules communication, technology, transportation, information just in general, and your processing power of it. You may not notice when it's in retrograde. We're just covering the aspect right now, and intelligence. So, when Mercury is in retrograde, okay, hold on, wait a sec. Maybe we should cover what a retrograde is first. So, due to the planets circling the sun in the way that they do, sometimes it appears like they're like from Earth. If you were to stand outside with a telescope and look at this planet, it will appear to be moving backwards rather than the direction it generally moves, and that's when it's in retrograde. The fan just kicked on. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize if there's like all sorts of background noise on my end. It's not always like this. I'm sorry. It's been a week that I'm not going to get into the details of. Just know that I'm struggling. I've cried only 11 times, so you know what? We don't care about background noise today. Just add it to the reasons to be irritated with Mercury retrograde, because this is technology, right? So any kind of technology wanky wonks is what Mercury retrograde is going to do. But anyway, when a planet is in retrograde, when it appears to be moving backwards, it's not actually moving backwards. It's just because of how it orbits the sun in relation to us and where we are. When it appears to be doing this, it is in retrograde, and when it is in retrograde, it takes all of the aspects that planet rules and kind of flips them over on their back, sort of. It's kind of like the yin and yang that we were talking about several episodes back, and how everything has a counterpart, everything has a dark side, everything has a light and a dark, a shadow side, and the retrograde period of time would be that planet's shadow side, essentially. So it's going to take all of the things that it rules and kind of wonk them for a bit. The good news is that it only comes around for about 3 weeks, even though there's a shadow period before and after that lasts about 2 weeks, so it kind of turns it into like a month and a half ordeal. But, wait, hold on. It's not scary if you understand it. As with all things in life, it's an ebb and flow, and the more you know, the better you're able to flow with the aspects. Because remember, the only constant in life is change, okay? Life is always throwing us obstacle courses to maneuver. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start looking for the patterns. And the more patterns you can find, the easier you can maneuver your particular obstacle course. Mercury retrograde throws us obstacles in the form of technology, communication, transportation, information. So you just want to be extra careful and mindful in those categories. You know, leave a little bit earlier on your way to work, or try not to schedule any traveling during this time, or buy any new technology. And let me tell you what, y'all, I messed up. I wasn't paying attention or something. I'm not really sure what happened with that. I knew better, but it didn't click. One and one did not equal 2 in my head. The dots did not click until it was way too late to undo what I had already done. But I bought a brand new computer during Mercury retrograde, Actually, I think it was a couple of days before, but it doesn't matter, apparently, because, you got the whole shadow aspect and whatnot. I should have just held out entirely. I have had nothing but issues out of this brand new $900 computer, and I am so irritated with it. I'm holding out hopes that we'll get everything worked out, and it's just, a learning curve in the beginning, and life's just kind of, But that is super irritating. Another story, the last Mercury Retrograde we traveled to Orlando, to Disney World. I didn't schedule that one. I knew from the get-go, I was like, that's during Mercury Retrograde, that's not going to be a good time, but we were going with a group of friends, so it was what it was. And you know what? We got stuck at the airport for 36 hours. It was a nightmare. So just be really careful. If, it's good to track these things so that you know how to prepare for them and how to maneuver them. Do not buy big equipment. Don't buy anything, actually. Don't buy anything techie or big during Mercury Retrograde, like a new vehicle. Definitely don't buy a new vehicle during Mercury Retrograde. Any new tech. Try not to schedule any traveling. Other than that, just slow down a little bit. Use it as a time to kind of relax and take a step back and just look at everything. Accidents are more common now because transportation. So leave a little bit earlier, drive a little bit carefuler, about a little bit slower, and just be careful out there. It is a really good time to reflect and organize and look back at things. I'm really big into journaling. So writing down your thoughts, writing down what's going on, trying to analyze the patterns that you see. If you're an entrepreneur, go through your business stuff, clean out your computer files, see if there's anything that needs to be reworked or edited or updated, those types of things. Setting out marketing things are really good now. So see, just as nothing is purely bad or purely good, everything has its light side, its dark side, and to know how to work that is just about knowing how to work that. The more information, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Everybody wants to talk about all of the negative things that Mercury retrograde can cause, but nobody really wants to talk about what can be helpful during this time. They tell you, everybody's always like, be careful while driving, don't travel, technology, communication's big, you guys. Do not sleep on the fact that communication is incredibly subpar right now between everyone, even if it feels like it's going okay. Mixed messages are abundant. Just communication, okay? People might not be picking up what you're putting down the way that you mean it to be picked up, And Mercury is the trickster. It's the jokester planet, so things can get really humorous. Almost in like a dark humor type of thing, They're playing with our life. This planet is playing with our life and cutting up and joking and tapping us with their elbow in the shoulder and being like, lighten up, it's not that serious, is it? And we're like stern face staring at them like, are you kidding me right now? You're playing with my life, and then it's a joke to you. It's a joke to you. But look, reformulating, recalculating. This is a really great time to go inward and growth, okay? Growth. Journal about what your ideal life would look like, okay? I have a meditation, lots of episodes back. I write about it all the time. The ideal life exercise and all of the aspects that you can go through when doing it, because it's not just writing down what your ideal life would be like in like a few sentences. Like, I want you to whole story play this out for me. Set the scene. How do you feel? You are the main character in your story. You woke up in the morning, in your ideal day. What does it look like? How does it feel? What is your routine? What do you do next? What? Just a regular day. Really focus on the emotions. Formulate yourself an Ikigai chart. Should we do a whole episode on Ikigai? Queen Herbie did a whole episode on an Ikigai chart, so just go watch her, just go listen to her episode, okay? House of Herbie, just go listen to her Ikigai, so I don't have to do one on it. But really set your goals, which brings me into a episode that I'm going to do here soon, so stay tuned. We set goals with each new moon in the Facebook group, according to the zodiac that they're in for that new moon, because each new moon is in a different zodiac. And if you set your specific intentions and goals to that zodiac for each new moon for that month, that cycle, then after a year you can be a very well-rounded individual with all of your balance and goals met and whatnot. Because, you know, there's a lot of aspects to life, and how the hell are we supposed to formulate and figure out and work on all of these aspects when there's like 12 of them, 15 plus, you know. Well, there's systems out there, and really every system is in and of itself fine. It's about finding one that works for you. I use the zodiacs of the new moon, that's my system, for setting goals and intentions to make sure that I touch on every aspect of life throughout the whole year. But I'll do an episode on that. You just come hang out with us in the Facebook group and we'll go from there. Oh, you know another thing that Mercury Retrograde does? It brings people back from your past. So just be aware of that, okay? And people coming back from your past is a cycle. So just analyze it and know what you're working with, okay? They're in your past for a reason. Was that of their choosing or your choosing? What happened there? Just protect yourself, you know what I mean? Hold your boundaries. Proceed with caution. It was a really good time it's always a good time to ground yourself, honestly. Always be grounding yourself, but now's a really good time to ground yourself and just be aware of all of the chaos that ensues around you, because Mercury retrograde is really, really known for the chaos that it causes. Almost nothing is what it seems. Things get mixed up and confused. So be sure that you're double checking your calendar and your notes and your plans, and be sure that you're listening to, like, really listening to others when they talk and trying to understand where they're, I mean, do that anyway, all the time, but just know that things are more likely to get mixed up now, so extra paying attention. So yeah, that's Mercury retrograde. I think I want to wrap this up because I've given you enough to work with for now. If you have any questions, let me know. Come hang out with us in the Facebook group. Hey, I don't think I've told you guys before, and that's bad on my part, but I do energy consultations, so schedule one of those, and we'll get you all straightened out and whatnot. Namaste. Love you guys. See you next week.